The war in West Asia has hit home and hit home hard, especially because of the LPG crisis. And it's not just affecting you and me and our households, it's affecting businesses across the country. First up, we take a look at what are the ramifications across sectors in India as far as this LPG shortage is concerned. Now, India's railway catering network is preparing for a possible LPG disruption amidst the escalating conflict in West Asia. In an advisory issued to catering units across the West Zone, IRCTC has asked vendors to immediately shift to alternate cooking methods like microwaves and induction stoves if LPG supplies are hit. Now, that directive also asks food plazas, refreshment rooms and Jan Ahaar outlets to maintain a higher stock of ready-to-eat meals to avoid disruption for passengers. Now, the move comes as global tensions threaten commercial LPG supply chains, prompting precautionary measures to ensure that railway passengers continue to get uninterrupted food services. Now, on to the next. As far as the impact of LPG shortage crisis is concerned, amidst that war and the crisis in the national capital, due to the unavailability of LPG cylinders, the lawyers' canteen at the Delhi High Court has temporarily stopped preparing and serving main course meals. LPG shortage has hit Delhi High Court lawyers' canteen, and in a notice dated today, the canteen management has informed the Honourable Secretary and advocates that there is currently no clarity on when LPG supply will be restored. Main course preparation will only resume once gas supply becomes available. Now, that letter states that the High Court canteen does not have information on when the LPG supply will resume. However, the notice also mentions that sandwiches, salads, fruit chaat, and other light refreshments will continue to be served. Now, the canteen management has apologized for the inconvenience and requested cooperation from the advocates, but for now, the situation is completely in a quote-unquote wait-and-watch mode. Well, LPG crisis is spreading its wings across the country, across sectors. But at this hour, we're mainly worried about how it's affecting all our railway passengers. And more importantly, how exactly is the IRCTC looking to mitigate the risk that's going to arise in terms of serving food for railway passengers. Let's quickly take a look at this report on what this is all about.
Amid a shortage of LPG cylinders across the country, the Indian Railways is considering temporarily halting the catering services on trains, with the final call pending from the Railway Board. The Indian Railway Catering and Tourism Corporation, or IRCTC, is expected to issue refunds to passengers who had pre-booked the meals while booking the tickets. The LPG crisis, triggered by the ongoing war in the Middle East, has adversely impacted the IRCTC's base kitchens, where meals served to the passengers on trains are prepared before being sent to the pantry cars. According to the officials, around 17 lakh meals are served daily across the country through IRCTC's base kitchen network and on-board catering systems. However, meal services could be temporarily stopped if LPG supplies continue to remain tight. As per railway officials, the meals served to the passengers on train are prepared at the IRCTC base kitchens, and if there is any disruption in the LPG availability, it will directly impact the meal preparation and supply to the passengers on the trains. If passengers have already booked their meals, they will get refund, say the officials. Meanwhile, the LPG crisis has also forced the closure of many restaurants and hotels across the country, especially in major cities like Mumbai, Bengaluru, Pune, and Chennai. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas has set up a committee to review the shortage of commercial LPG. For LPG supply to other non-domestic sectors, a committee of 3 executive directors of oil marketing companies have been constituted. Now, this committee will review the representations for the LPG supply to the restaurants, hotels, and other industries. On March 10th, the ministry issued a directive via X ordering all the domestic oil refineries to immediately ramp up the liquefied petroleum gas production. The order mandates a significant hike in liquefied petroleum gas production, specifically earmarked for the domestic consumption to shield the Indian households from the ripple effects of the ongoing conflict and the developing oil crisis.
So clearly the LPG cooking gas crisis is having far-reaching efforts in India. And if you're thinking it's only the big cities like Bengaluru and Chennai where, hotels are shutting down because of lack of commercial LPG supply, the fuel crisis is now set to hit Uttarakhand, which is preparing for it due to the disruptions in global gas supplies beginning to impact India. The state government of Uttarakhand has started making arrangements to supply firewood to businesses as an alternative fuel if LPG shortages worsen. Uttarakhand's Forest Minister Subodh Unyal has said that the move comes amidst escalating tensions in West Asia, which has already begun affecting gas supplies in Uttarakhand. He's described the situation as similar to a crisis scenario. And he has said that the Uttarakhand Forest Development Corporation has instructed to ensure adequate wood availability for commercial use if needed. Now, the development comes after the centre reshuffled the allocation of LPG, CNG and piped cooking gas, prioritizing supplies for households and the transport sector. Now, the move follows major disruptions in natural gas imports into India as the widening conflict in West Asia has affected nearly 30% of India's gas supply. India, bear in mind, consumes about 191 million standard cubic meters of gas per day, nearly half of which is imported. However, tanker movement through the Strait of Hormuz in Iran has stalled, disrupting around 60 SCMD of gas coming from West Asia. Authorities say the measures are precautionary, aimed at ensuring that businesses continue operating even if the gas shortage deepens. Now, it appears that the shortage has now hit the national capital clearly. Due to the unavailability of LPG cylinders, the lawyers' canteen at Delhi High Court has temporarily stopped preparing and serving main course meals, and the LPG shortage hitting the Delhi High Court lawyers' canteen means that no more main course is being served. However, they're saying salads and sandwiches can be served. A notice has been sent to the effect, canteen management informing the Honourable Secretary and advocates that there is currently no clarity on when LPG supply will be restored. So I've been telling you how LPG supplies are hitting across the board. Hotels in Andhra have also put up their hands and saying we can't do anything anymore because we don't know when we're going to get our supplies. Andhra hotels have warned of possible disruptions to operations and have appealed to the state government to ensure uninterrupted supply of commercial LPG cylinders. The Andhra Pradesh Star Hotels Association has flagged concerns that oil marketing companies are rationing commercial LPG supplies as part of the broader effort to prioritize domestic consumers, and that is hitting them. The association says hotels, restaurants and catering services rely heavily on commercial gas cylinders for daily kitchen operations, and any prolonged shortage could disrupt hospitality services across the state. The industry has sought urgent coordination between LPG distributors and government authorities to maintain steady supplies, especially in key tourism hubs like Visakhapatnam, Vijayawada and Tirupati. The concern comes after changes in gas allocation at the national level amid supply chain disruptions triggered by tensions in West Asia. While distributors say domestic LPG supply remains stable, commercial users fear that it will not be stable, and that especially all the hotels and the banquets that are going on today and any kind of large-scale catering, all of them are fearing that they will not be able to meet the demands of their consumers simply because they don't know when they're going to get their next supply of gas from. Literally, bear in mind, they are running short by a good 30% of their supplies, and that means that they have barely 24 to 48 hours of cooking gas with them, and right now they depend on uninterrupted cooking gas availability to conduct their businesses. Not just Andhra Pradesh, hotels and restaurants in Telangana have also urged the state government to do the same. Clearly, the lack of LPG, commercial LPG, is hitting across the board, not just in Andhra Pradesh, but in Telangana as well at the same time. So all that we've been telling you about the fact that they are running very tight deadlines seem to be really true. And that's because this appeal from the Telangana State Rules Association, which has warned that the ongoing gas supply disruption could force several restaurants and eateries to shut down temporarily, is a reverberation of all that we heard from Bengaluru and other parts of India. And Telangana Hotel Owners Association, in a letter dated March 10th, writing to the state's civil supplies minister seeking urgent government intervention to restore the supply of commercial LPG cylinders. The association has requested the government to classify hotels and restaurants as essential service establishments, which would allow them to receive priority access to LPG cylinders similar to domestic consumers. Industry representatives are saying that the shortage has already begun affecting operations across parts of Telangana following similar concerns raised in neighboring Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu as well. And the hospitality sector as a whole is warning that if the LPG supply crisis continues, it could trigger mass closures of restaurants, leaving thousands of workers unemployed. And the association has also pointed out that hotels and eateries play a crucial role in the state's economy and tourism sector while providing daily meals to migrant laborers, students, and working professionals. And according to the industry body, prolonged restrictions on commercial LPG supply could severely disrupt food services across cities and towns in the state of Telangana. The association has now urged the government to step in and quickly ensure that LPG supplies are restored. Otherwise, Telangana will face the same fate that is already being faced by those in the cities and restaurants in Bengaluru, in Karnataka, in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu, in Jaipur, in Coimbatore, everywhere, all across the state. Its latest to add to that is the Telangana Hotel Owners Association. They've written a letter just on the 10th of March, probably the most recent in terms of which Hotel Owners Association are writing to their own respective state government. Now, amid the growing fears of LPG crunch, Karnataka's Food and Civil Supplies Consumer Affairs Minister K.H. Muniyappa addressed the media after holding a review meeting with the officials. Speaking in Bengaluru, he said that the government is closely monitoring the situation and review supply arrangements to ensure that there is no disruption, at least any kind of major disruption. Muniyappa also saying that essential institutions like residential schools, hospitals, may be treated under the commercial category to ensure uninterrupted LPG supply. He also appealed to other establishments and consumers to cooperate. At the end of the day, it is both the government and the suppliers asking for consumers to cooperate. So you really need to watch out your use of LPG, be it in your house or any house that you might own or any establishment that you might be running. It is really up to the citizens to ensure that, because bear in mind there's already a restriction on when you can book your next gas cylinder. There's already a 3-week hold period. So the usual consumption patterns will have to be re-looked at least that's what the situation is looking like. Let's now take a listen in on what Karnataka Minister had to say.
Essential commodity attack there, we'll take action, and every action we are ready. We have already discussed this matter, and there also I will appeal. In the circumstances, the war is going in the world, they should cooperate, don't do all these mistakes.
Sir, what assurance to the commercial gas cylinder users? Because
that's why I am telling.
More than 30,000.
There also essential is there. Hospitals are there, schools are there, and hostels are there, residential schools are there. Where is essential things are there we can accommodate for the commercial. But other users like hotels and Kalyanman Bhav, I will appeal to them. At this time, you have to cooperate. Thank you.
So clearly, LPG crisis is the top story that we're tracking here at News 9. Cities and towns across the country, states across the country, sectors across the country being impacted by this LPG crisis. Let's take a look at what is being done to manage the situation over here. The government is continuously reviewing the situation. West Asia war triggering fears of global disruption to oil supply, and that is putting government into managing the situation or controlling the damage mode, putting LPG production, CNG and piped cooking gas at the top of the list. Government has ordered refineries to boost LPG production. Clearly, making more of it is the top priority at this moment. Oil refiners have also been directed to ramp up LPG production, while a panel of oil marketing company officials has been set up to review supply requests from hotels and other industries as well.
ईरान और इजराइल के बीच चल रहे युद्ध का असर अब भारत की रसोई तक पहुंच चुका है। जी हां, भारत के तमाम रेस्टोरेंट जो है इस वक्त बंद होने की स्थिति पर पहुंच चुके हैं, क्योंकि गैस सिलेंडर जो है, जो कमर्शियल गैस सिलेंडर है, वो सप्लाई होना कई डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ने बंद कर दिया। दिल्ली हो, मुंबई हो, तमाम बड़े शहरों में स्थिति वही है। तमाम रेस्टोरेंट के मालिक जो है सरकार से गुहार लगा रहे हैं कि सरकार इसमें कोई मदद करे। अब रेस्टोरेंट के मालिकों ने एक नया ऑप्शन सोचा है कि इंडेक्स यानी इलेक्ट्रिक जो गैस आती है, जिससे ये चूल्हा आता है, इसका उपयोग किया जाए ताकि जो रेस्टोरेंट में जो ग्राहक आते हैं उनको फूड क्वालिटी अच्छे से सर्व किया जाए। अब बाजारों में जो इंडेक्स होता है, ये जो यानी इलेक्ट्रिक ये जो गैस होती है, इसकी डिमांड बढ़ते हुए दिखाई दे रही है। और जाहिर सी बात है, जब इसकी डिमांड बढ़ती है तो दुकानों में भी इसके जो स्टॉक है वो भी चेक करना पड़ता है कि आखिर इनके पास कितना स्टॉक है। हम ऐसे एक दुकान में मौजूद है जो मुंबई का दादर इलाका काफ़ी सबसे बेस्ट इलाका माना जाता है शहर का, जहाँ सबसे ज़्यादा भीड़ होती है, वो लोग शॉपिंग करने आते हैं। इनसे बात करेंगे। भाई साहब बताइए कि ये ईरान इजराइल के बीच जो चीज़ें चल रही है, गैस सप्लाई बंद हो चुका है, इंडेक्स की डिमांड आपकी दुकान में कितनी हो गई है?
सर, हमारे जो इंडक्शन की बात करें तो इंडक्शन अगर पहले जहाँ पे 2 दिन 3 दिन में 1 या 2 इंडक्शन बिकते थे, आज वो दिन में 6 से 7 या उससे भी ज़्यादा इंडक्शन की डिमांड हो गई है। और जहाँ से माल आ रहा है वहाँ पे सप्लाई इतना ज़्यादा कम है कि जो इंडक्शन की सप्लाई पहले काफ़ी ज़्यादा हुआ करती थी, आज वो इंडक्शन की वहाँ पे शॉर्टेज है। आप रेगुलर इंडक्शन की बात कीजिए, इंफ्रारेड इंडक्शंस की बात कीजिए या फिर कमर्शियल कुकटॉप्स की बात कीजिए, सब जगहों पे इंडक्शंस की डिमांड इतनी ज़्यादा बढ़ गई है जिसकी वजह से रेट काफ़ी ज़्यादा बढ़ चुके हैं।
अब कितना बढ़ा रेट? पहले ये जब वॉर नहीं था तो कितने में बेचा करते थे, अब कितने में बेच रहे हैं?
जो इंडक्शन का दाम पहले 2000 या 2500 रुपये का था, आज वो बढ़कर 3,500 से 4,000 रुपये हो चुका है। मगर कस्टमर 3,500-4,000 रुपये देने को तैयार है, मगर फिर भी इंडक्शन का माल नहीं मिल रहा है। इतनी ज़्यादा शॉर्टेज आ चुकी है इंडक्शन।
3,000 रुपये जो है इसके दाम है, 2,000 रुपये पहले ये बिकता था। ये इंडक्शन जो फिलहाल हर घर में और हर तमाम बड़े रेस्टोरेंट में इसकी ज़रूरत पड़ चुकी है, क्योंकि गैस की सप्लाई बंद हो चुकी है। अब महंगा लग रहा है आपको? ये पहले लेकर रख लेते?
महंगा लगे या सस्ता लगे, अभी तो खरीदना है। 2 मैं खरीदा हूँ, अभी 3 पीस और चाहिए।
कहाँ लेके जाएंगे?
कमर्शियल होटल में काम
अच्छा
लग रहा है,
वहाँ बोला लेके आइए।
लेके जाना ही पड़ेगा ना।
लेके जाएंगे तो फिर खाने का मेन्यू कार्ड भी बढ़ा देंगे।
बढ़ेगा ही। अभी इसका पैसा किधर से भी तो हमको निकालना पड़ेगा ना। अभी इधर में बढ़ा के देगा तो उधर खाने में भी तो रेट बढ़ेगा। हर चीज़ में तो
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। घर का किचन जो है, जिस तरह से महंगाई बढ़ती है तो घर का किचन जब महंगा हो जाता है तो आम आदमी का बजट भी ढीला हो जाता है। उसी तरह से जब गैस सप्लाई बंद हो जाती है तो जो रेस्टोरेंट है, जो देश का किचन कहा जाता है, जहाँ पे लोगों को खाना सर्व किया जाता है, वो भी बढ़ते हुए दिखाई दे रहे हैं। तमाम मेन्यू कार्ड जो है वो बदल चुके हैं। अब इसी इंडेक्स यानी जो इलेक्ट्रिक चूल्हा है, उसी का उपयोग करके होटलों को फिलहाल कुछ दिनों के लिए चलाया जा रहा है।
Well, take a look at who has spoken up on the LPG crisis. It is none other than Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal who addressed the media. Listen in.
इस वक्त देश बहुत गंभीर संकट से गुजर रहा है। पूरे देश में एलपीजी गैस जिसे हम बोलते हैं, जो घरों में खाना बनाने के भी काम आती है, रेस्टोरेंट में, इंडस्ट्री में, तरह तरह से लोग इसका इस्तेमाल करते हैं एलपीजी सिलेंडर का, गैस का। इसकी देश में भारी किल्लत हो गई है और उसका कारण है कि पूरे देश में जितनी डेली प्रोडक्शन होती है उसकी 50% प्रोडक्शन कम हो रही है, 50% प्रोडक्शन कम हो रही है। ये कैसे, मैं आपको थोड़ा समझाता हूँ। हमारे देश में जितनी एलपीजी की खपत है उसका 60% इंपोर्ट होता है और उस 60% इंपोर्ट का 90% स्ट्रेट ऑफ हरमुज से आता है। और स्ट्रेट ऑफ हरमुज अब इंडिया में जितना आता था इंडिया के लिए बंद हो गया, तो 90% इंपोर्ट्स कम हो गए हैं। तो लगभग 50-55% प्रोडक्शन हमारे देश की एलपीजी की कम हो गई है। इसका सबसे ज़्यादा खामियाजा इस वक्त इमीडिएटली रेस्टोरेंट्स और होटल बर्दाश्त कर रहे हैं। सरकार ने आदेश जारी किया है कि रेस्टोरेंट और होटल्स को एलपीजी गैस मुहैया नहीं कराई जाएगी। रेस्टोरेंट्स एंड होटल्स एलपीजी की स्टॉक नहीं रख सकते, वो उसको स्टोर करके नहीं रख सकते क्योंकि सेफ्टी कंसर्न्स होते हैं। तो जितने एलपीजी सिलेंडर उनको रोज़ चाहिए होते हैं उतनी डेली की डेली उनको सप्लाई की जाती है। तो अब एकदम से अगर एलपीजी बंद हो गई तो उनके पास तो 2 दिन का भी स्टॉक नहीं है, 1 दिन का भी स्टॉक नहीं है। इसकी वजह से अब मुंबई में 20% होटल और रेस्टोरेंट बंद हो चुके हैं और लगभग अगले 2 दिन के अंदर 50% रेस्टोरेंट और होटल बंद होने जा रहे हैं। तमिलनाडु में लगभग 10,000 होटल और रेस्टोरेंट्स बंद होने की कगार पे हैं। पंजाब और दिल्ली एनसीआर में हजारों होटल और रेस्टोरेंट्स आने वाले कुछ दिनों के अंदर बंद होने जा रहे हैं और ये पीक वेडिंग सीजन है, शादियों का सीजन है। तो मुझे लगता है अगर ये जारी रहा तो बहुत सारे लोगों को शादियां पोस्टपोन करनी पड़ेंगी और इसी तरह की कहानियां बेंगलोर, हैदराबाद, पश्चिम बंगाल, छत्तीसगढ़।
There you heard Arvind Kejriwal from the national capital talking about the gas shortage in Mumbai. Interesting, isn't it? Because we've been talking about the gas shortages everywhere in the country, be it Jaipur or Chennai or Bengaluru, Andhra, Telangana, everywhere. Talking about the national capital as well. What about the financial capital? How is the LPG crisis affecting the financial capital? Take a look at this ground report from my colleague Vinod Jagdale.
ईरान इजराइल अमेरिका वॉर का सीधा असर यहाँ पर मुंबई समेत महाराष्ट्र हो या फिर देश हो, हर जगह देखने को मिल रहा है। मुंबई की खासकर बात करें या महाराष्ट्र की बात करें तो एलपीजी का जो सप्लाई है वो काफ़ी कम हो चुका है और ना के बराबर गैस फिलहाल होटल और रेस्टोरेंट को वहाँ पर मिल रहा है। लेकिन घर में जो सप्लाई होने वाला कुकिंग गैस है वो लगातार मिल रहा है। इस समय हम मौजूद हैं पंचमपुरी वाला 178 साल पुराना ये होटल है दक्षिण मुंबई का। सीएसटी स्टेशन के बाहर ये होटल है। कोई भी यहाँ पर आता है तो ये यहाँ पर पूरी भाजी खाकर यहाँ पर निकल जाता है और ये काफ़ी मशहूर होटल है। होटल के अंदर चलते हैं और देखते हैं कि हालात क्या है यहाँ पर जो गैस ना होने के कारण। देखिए शुरुआत में ही नो गैस सप्लाई का बोर्ड यहाँ पर लगा है। सॉरी, नॉट ऑल मेनू आइटम्स अवेलेबल, गैस पुरवठा बंद आहे, यानी गैस सप्लाई बंद है, इसका बोर्ड यहाँ पर लगाया गया है। देख सकते हैं यहाँ पर पूरी भाजी, ये मशहूर यहाँ की ये डिश है पंचमपुरी वाला। ये कब से मशहूर है देखिए, ऊपर से आप देख सकते हैं कि इसकी जो खासियत है हर न्यूज़पेपर में यहाँ पर दिखाई पड़ती है। 178 साल पुरानी दुकान है लेकिन आज यहाँ पर गैस नहीं है